Carolina.
This live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate, providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com. Nos gustaría darle la bienvenida a todos los espectadores en Colombia. Esta emisión de la Premier Ultimate League es traído por Spin Ultimate, patrocinando uniformes exclusivos desde 2007. Visita Spin en la red en spinultimate.com.
Number 4, Sammy Wong.
Universe Point Productions is sponsored by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Find your local Marion County agent at infarmbureau.com. Incrediplex, an Indianapolis-based 4-acre world-class indoor sports, entertainment, and event center. Disstore, offering the best service and best price on ultimate gear. Guaranteed. BE Ultimate, ultimate players making ultimate gear for the ultimate community. And Layout Ultimate, the most durable ultimate gloves. Layout Ultimate, what the pros wear.
All right, welcome everyone. Today we are at Westfield High School Stadium. We've got week 4 of the Premier Ultimate League games. Today we have Revolution from Medellin, Colombia. They're wearing pink out there versus Indy Red from Indianapolis, Indiana, wearing black on the field. My name is Jerry McInerney. With me on the mic today is Emily Willingham.
Hey Jerry, it's great to be here.
It's great to be here. This is a very exciting game to be watching. Medellin Revolution, they came all the way from Colombia. They actually had a game last night versus Columbus Pride, so this is a very exciting weekend, not only for Colombia, but also for Indiana.
I heard there's a big event going on today in Indiana.
Today is Ultimate Day in Indiana. We are actually watching Game 2 right now. So Game 1 was the high school championships where Fishers High School took the victory, and now we have the Premier Ultimate League, Indy Red versus Revolution.
And then later on, we're going to have a UDL game. We're going to have the Alley Cats versus the Atlanta Hustle. But right now, we are all about the women.
All about. All right, we apologize for that. We got a little cut off by the national anthem, but we are back now. So Emily actually had an opportunity to speak to the coach of Medellin Revolution along with the captains of Indy Red. Emily, what should we be seeing today from both teams?
It was great to get to talk to both teams. They both had a similar excitement for today's game, but also some pretty different strategies going in. When I got to talk to Red, they were saying, it's kind of exciting to be able to be here on what, they are happy to call their home turf. But in this game, they feel like there are no expectations for them. They get to come out and play the gritty game that they love, coming in as kind of an underdog. I thought that's super interesting, considering being an underdog on your home field can be kind of weird, I feel. But I know that they didn't think anything of it, and they were excited. Jerry, what do we got going on right now?
Well, it looks like Revolution is doing their typical dance warm-up, spirit dance warm-up. Oh, we've got some Indy Red players joining.
I love that.
That's been the best part of the Premier Ultimate League so far, is just seeing the camaraderie between teams. Obviously, it's a huge competition being professional ultimate, but it's still great to see that the spirit of the game holds well regardless of the competition.
It's clear that Revolution has done this a time or two. However, I love when any player, even if you're like, I'm not a good dancer, gets out there and try to bust some moves. Maybe a count or two behinds, maybe like 8, but hey, they're doing it.
Oh, yeah.
So when I got to speak to the Mendelin coach, he was saying, they come into this playing their game. I know I tried to ask them, if they had done any scouting on Red, or if they were, trying to have something in mind in particular to bring against this team. And something really interesting that he said to me is if you focus too much on one team or the team you're about to play, you become dependent on them. And that was a very interesting mindset, and a mindset that I feel like really encapsulates this team. They come out as themselves every game. They come out hard, they come out strong, and they're very consistent in what they do. And I think that this, they're in control of their destiny. They are dependent on each other, but no one else. I think that just shines through in every aspect of how they play.
Absolutely. They don't want to narrow themselves in any capacity. The coach was saying that if they were to strategize about how to defend a certain person and then that person wasn't rostered for that game, then their best player may not be able to readapt. So they're making sure that they have just their game shining through every step of the way.
It was also awesome to hear his confidence in his players. He was, I'll put any of my players against anyone, and, they're going to get the opportunity to either learn about that player they're guarding, but about Ultimate, and I just loved his confidence in them. Swinging back over to Red, I know that they're feeling really excited to play this, world-renowned team. They are definitely looking forward to, having their very athletic players go against some of the best that we've been able to see. And I know that they have been doing some scouting on Revolution. There are definitely more footage for Red to watch on Revolution. They've had 5 games now, I think. Yes, 5 games. Red has only had 1 game. So even if Colombia did wanted to scout, there wouldn't be much to work with.
And this is actually Indy's only home game for the entire season, so it's thrilling for them as well, not only to be playing on their home turf, but also, like you said, playing the world-renowned Colombia Medellin Revolution.
At the stadium right now, we got a bit of a drizzle going. The wind is picking up on your screen. The wind will be coming from the left to the right. It'll be a pretty stable upwind, downwind. Not much cross going on at the moment, but we'll keep you updated on that.
What defensive strategies are the teams going to throw today?
Well, considering there's a pretty solid gust of wind coming in, we'll definitely be able to see some zone. Both teams have a take on what is a 3-3-1, so that's 3 people up front, 3 in the middle, and then 1 deep, which we like to call a monster. They have a very different style for this zone, so you'll get to see something, what we call, it's a 3-3-1, but it is very fluid. For Indy, I expect to see something a little bit more structured up front versus with a team like Revolution. They'll be a lot more fluid. They've been able to play with each other more. In fact, Indy has only been able to have 3 6-hour practices, and that's it, and 1 game.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to be able to see some chemistry forming
Yes.
as we watch.
Yes, and 2 of those 6-hour practices, one was in the snow.
Oh my.
Yep, and the other one was pouring down rain, just the best conditions to practice layouts. But I really think that brought them together as a team as well. All right, so going back to the game, we have pulling. They're starting on defense. They're pulling 2 Indy Red.
Now,
Looks like-
any fans familiar with Ultimate might recognize that this field is a little bit longer. There are actually 80 yards between each goal line, unlike the 70 that we might see with USAU or WIF-DIF. The end zones are 20 by 40, but again, this field is longer.
Yes, and we've got Mosquera with the pull.
All right, and that's the start of our first 12-minute quarter.
And that landed inbounds. It's getting picked up by Jackie Lai of Indy Red. Jackie with the nice upfield pass. Great flow shown from Indy Red. Kate McInerney with the disc right now. Center to Nicole Quay. Down to Bree Harrison. Bree Harrison with that reset. Nice swing. Looking for that dump. Nicole Quay with that lefty flick all the way upfield to that goal line. Nice. Indy Red with the first score of the game. We've got Bree Harrison with the score assisted.
Indianapolis Red.
By somebody on red.
All right. Nicole Quay with that gainer upfield.
Hockey assist, if you will.
Yep. Looks like that was Claire Schwabo with the assist to Bree Harrison for the score.
That was a pretty good downwind point. You saw the Revolution standing in those lanes of the handles, not playing a very close person D, but definitely getting to their players in time. Make sure to check that out next time. But right now, Revolution will be going downwind. So let's check out this upwind pull by Indy Red.
All right. Pull coming up. All right, swung to the center. Looks like Revolution is using their handlers primarily. Indy Red zone is working pretty well at keeping them back. All right, that's Cartagena with the disc right now. She tries to go over that wall. She's successful. Nice little pass to keep the disc moving. Oh, unfortunate turnover right there.
That was Torres with the turf.
Indy Red working quickly to see if they can find some upfield. Oh. And that just shows you what the wind is doing right now.
Little nerves, too, on that, I think.
Mm-hmm. We've got Torres picking up the disc. Trying to weave that inside-out throw. Sydney Oland with the disc, looking for a reset. Looks like there was some contact on that play.
You know, traditionally, we would see, for the PUL, we'd see the WIF-DIF hand signals. I'm not seeing those right now. But in the future, I think you'll see more and more ladies being able to use those hand signals. To signal foul, traditionally, you would take one arm and place the one forearm over the other to signify that you are calling a foul. So maybe look for that in the future. But right now it looks like we are going to our game observers.
The players get 10 seconds to talk it over themselves before they have to throw it to the observers. Looks like the foul was uncontested. It's going back to Sydney Oland.
Seems like it was contested. It came in on 6.
Kelly Kirker to Sydney. Nice big swing. Oh, just out of reach.
Torres heading over to pick up that disc again.
Centers to Cartagena. Overthrown. Oh, but recovered by Revolution. That was Ferrero that recovered. We've got nice quick movement back to Torres on that goal line, swinging around. Way to cover that break. All right, there's those whiff-diff hand signals that you were talking about. What does that one mean, Willie?
That one means that there is a pick. Unlike traditional USAU Ultimate, you have to actually be within 2 feet to call a pick.
All right. We've got our end zone look from Revolution. Another unfortunate turnover.
And that was some really good handle movement. They're just not able to connect right now. Maybe getting out some jitters, maybe travel wearing down.
All right, Sydney Oland picked up the disc. Nice inside throw. Big upfield throw to Austin Prucha. Another big upfield throw. That one just sank. It did not get the lift it needed to be completed. We've got Torres picking up the disc. Swinging over to Cartagena. Ooh, nice snag. Ferrero with the disc. Looking upfield. Nice big shot. Sydney Oland. I think she got a piece of that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's a block in my book.
Sydney Oland with the upfield pass. Another big 20-yard upfield pass.
From Phoebe Kemmer.
From Phoebe Kemmer. Inside look to the middle of the field. Is this Red's chance for a break? Just sailed out of bounds. All right, Torres going to pick up that disc again. Great D from Indy Red. Finally gets that reset. Excellent handle movement. All right, Rojas with the disc, swung back to Torres. Back to Torres. Looking for that upfield throw.
Observers in this and the PUL do rule on up, down, in, and out if the players do not immediately make a call.
Looks like it ended up being a turnover. It did hit the turf. All right. Lauren Boyle with the disc. Tried to thread that needle upfield. Incomplete pass. We've got, again, Torres picking up the disc. She found Cartagena upfield. A big shot. Oh, what a layout from Cardenas. Cardenas looking for a reset. Ends up going backfield. We've got a timeout call from Indy Red.
Talk about a marathon point going on right now. In the PUL, you can sub during timeouts.
Timeout here from the Indianapolis Red.
So I would expect to see the Indy Red O-line come in at this point. Oh, let's check out this
Alright.
layout again.
Nice big shot. It's just so wonderful watching Manuela Cardenas chase down a disc. This has been over a 2.5 minute point so far.
It's felt like more than that. There's
Right.
a lot of turns going back and forth. It looks like we do have the Indy O-line out at this
Yes.
point.
Yep. That is Nicole Quay with the disc. Team manager for Indy Red. Practicing her throws. All right, waiting for Revolution to fully get set up on D before the disc is tapped in. Disc is in. Nicole Quay looking for a handle reset. Found Kate McInerney. Kate McInerney. Oh, there was some contact on the disc right there. All right, we've got Carvajal with the disc right now, looking for Torres. Torres stayed on after that timeout. Got Nicole Quay again with the disc. Oh, 2 receivers downfield for Indy Red. Kate McInerney looking for her options. She's got Jackie Lai going strike. A nice swing to the break side. Jen Golan with the disc right now. Looking for the reset.
But D.
Butt D. That was Valeria Cardenas with the butt D right there. All right. Torres picking up the disc once again. She's got Mosquera. Oh, just out of reach for Mosquera. That was fantastic positioning to go deep right there.
Absolutely. And you don't see a disc go long on Mosquera too often.
Kate McInerney chasing down that disc. Great defense from Medellin Revolution. She finally finds Jackie Lai. Jackie Lai looking upfield. Oh, that wind pushed it short. Mosquera was able to get that D. Revolution looking for quick transition right there. Torres with the disc. Looking for her handle reset. She finds Santos in the middle of the field, working it up that break side. Back to Cardenas. Finds Claire Chastain, middle of the field. Back to Torres. Torres looking, Mosquera. There definitely was a call on the field. Looks like it was a pick, so disc is coming back. Mosquera's defense gets to catch up to her since the pick was affecting the disc. All right, Torres looking for that reset to Claire Chastain. There's 15 seconds. Oh, there is another call on the field.
Clock is still running. An important thing to note in the PUL, you do get to finish the possession even if the time runs out.
Oh, great score from Revolution right there. That was Khalees Cardenas to Valeria Cardenas. Great snag from Cardenas to Cardenas right there.
Cardenas with the score for the Revolution. We end the first quarter here with a tie score of 1-1.
That is the end of the first quarter, and the score is 1-1.
We'll be back here in a second. Right now, we'll head over to our sponsors.
Red players for a greatest bag.
All right, we are back. We are about to start the second quarter of this Premier Ultimate League game.
Current score is 1-1. It's pretty low. The Discraft Ultra Star is the official disc of the Premier Ultimate League. Discraft, the world leader in disc sports.
Like Willie said, the score is 1-1 after 12 minutes of play. That's kind of a low score for this game.
Absolutely.
What's going on?
We are definitely seeing both teams grinding and both teams making some mistakes. Definitely when they're getting close to that end zone, they worked it all the way down. We've seen both teams make errors there. For a team like Red, I think the less time that you've been able to get on a field together, the more mistakes that you will make when you get to a small space. And we're definitely seeing that with Red when they get less and less field to work with. They're doing excellent handle movement when they are 40, 50 yards out from their own from the end zone.
Right.
But once they are getting closer, they're running into each other. They're creating just not enough space for each other. And I wouldn't credit that to anything except for a chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
I think then when you look over to Revolution, we can definitely see that there is space, and I attribute some of this turns just to be to a little bit of wind, a little bit of weather, a little bit of nerves, a little bit of travel, but also you cannot overlook that our Indy Red are putting up some really good marks and showing some very good defense.
Yes. They are playing tight defense, which you need to on Medellin Revolution. They are known for their quick passes, their quick looks. They often just work the disc up the field between two people. Indy Red is doing a fantastic job of taking that away from Medellin Revolution.
When I got a chance to talk to the Red captains prior to the game, they did tell me that they were looking to force Revolution handles to hold that disc a little bit longer. That won't happen every time. However, we have seen their handles, even Torres or Valeria having to hold that disc just a second longer. They're not as able to do that, touch and go, hot potato down the field, even triangulating that disc. And that's been really interesting, and I'm hoping to see more of that and be able to see what Indy is doing to create that challenge for them.
And you also wonder, after seeing the Revolution play Columbus Pride yesterday, if it's just a matter of they need a few more minutes to click as the team before we see typical Medellin Ultimate.
Absolutely. If you have any questions or anything that you would like to let us know, if we missed something, if we got a name wrong, please feel free to contact us. You can get my Twitter at E_Willingham. That's E_WILLINGHAM. And it's just like it sounds. So feel free to send us a tweet there if you love what we're doing, if you hate what we're doing. We'll do our best to adapt what we can, and I can't wait to get back to this game.
Just to update you, we have 6 minutes left here in the first quarter due to a clock error here in the press box. We have 6 minutes left in the first quarter. And so
All right, so we are actually going back to the first quarter. Turns out that 6 minutes actually ran off of the clock during stoppages of play. So we're putting 6 minutes back on the clock for the first quarter.
Yeah, it looks like our clock didn't stop between points, and the time only starts when the pull goes up. So we definitely get another 6 minutes, which might help explain this 1-1 score.
Yes.
It might not, but we know it'll at least be a 2-1 or something.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. At the very least, there will be Frisbee.
Yes. So since Revolution just scored, they are going to pull the disc. Again, the timer starts once the pull goes off.
Once it's touched, it's put into play by the opposing team. We're getting there.
And it's rolling back. All right, Nicole Quay starting with the disc, upfield to Sydney Oland. Nope, Jen Golan, my apologies. Oh, we've got Dudley. Oh, she had 2 receivers downfield. There was a little bit of miscommunication on who was going to catch that. Looks like Bree Harrison laid out for it. A little bit out of reach. Revolution's turn with the disc. Upfield to Cartagena. Over to Montagna. Back to Cartagena. There's that handle movement we were just talking about. Upfield strike to Cartagena. Another upfield strike. Oh, they are working it up that 4 sideline. There we go. There's the swing to that break side. Over to Montagna. All the way to the break side. Resetting. Back to that 4 side. They're really working it in that handler space. They're not taking that deep shot quite yet. They want to work it up the field as much as possible.
And Revolution is a team that likes to test that deep space, so that should tell you a little bit about the wind right now.
Oh, uncharacteristic turn. I think Quay may have gotten a hand on that. Montagna with that turn. Quay looking upfield to Dudley. Dudley with the deep shot.
Just a little miscue right there.
Bree Harrison is definitely one of the faster women on this team. So if Harrison can't get to it, you may have put a little bit too much on it.
I think you're onto something there, Jerry.
Revolution walking it up. Look to the middle of the field. Again, working it in that handler space. Got Cartagena with the disc. Put it upfield. It's floating with that wind. Revolution came down with it. That was Manuela Cardenas. Ooh. Little bit of a miscue. They still retain the disc. Got Jimenez working it up the field. Swinging it over to Montagna. Into the strike position. Shot downfield. Nice D by number 27, Claire Schwaba for Indy Red.
That was just excellent positioning. She was ready for that deep corner throw. That's where Revolution loves to score. On that away throw from that sideline, she was all there all day.
Jack Eli is bringing the disc back in bounds. Looking for that handle reset. She found a receiver upfield, but unfortunately the pass was incomplete.
We're going to get to see some end zone offense.
Kate McInerney stuck with it. Finally got that D in the end zone. That is commitment to getting that D right there, preventing the score for Revolution.
You know, a lot of players could have laid out there, tried to make that play, and I really respect, avoiding a dangerous, hazardous play,
Absolutely.
Just for a goal.
Yep.
Ooh, we have a drop.
That is uncharacteristic for Jen Golan right there. Ooh.
She definitely had some contact on her. That's
Yes.
not a foul by any means, but, contact can get in your head.
Absolutely. Revolution quickly working it from player to player. Uribe back to Cartagena. Cartagena on the goal line. Puts it into... That was Cartagena with the assist to Rojas, number 13 for Revolution. There's that 2-1 score you were talking about.
We did it! And we have just over a minute left. Jam it in.
Yep.
That was a hard-fought point for both teams.
Absolutely. That was 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Wow, that was a very long point. And considering Revolution just played a game yesterday along with all of their travel, you would think that they would be showing signs of fatigue, but the coach beforehand,
He said nope.
absolutely not. These women are here, they are ready to play, they are ready to show the world.
He looked a little surprised when we asked him. He was like, what?
It's like, what is this fatigue that you were talking about?
Now, thus far, he was right to be confused.
Very true.
This is one of our first downwind
Right.
pulls.
Mosquero with the full field pull right there. All right, we've got Red working it. Over to Sydney Oland. Finds Indy Red upfield. Kelly Kirker with the disc right now. Dumped it back. Lots of handler swinging. Keeping Revolution on their toes. Found the upfield to Phoebe Kemmer. Kemmer, missed connection right there. Revolution with the chance for another break. Got Torres picking up the disc. Found Forero in the middle. Up to Cardenas. Finally found Claire Chastain in the end zone. That was Forero with the assist to number 52, Claire Chastain for Revolution.
You know, even 4 points into a game, we are definitely used to hearing Claire Chastain's name more than we have thus far. I don't know if she's been lurking or just getting some small touches on a disc or maybe making space, which is one of the most important things you can do as a teammate. But definitely expect to hear her name come up a little bit more on the assist and the goal side.
Yep. And you have to imagine that Indy Red strategized specifically for Claire Chastain. She is well known in USA Ultimate. She plays Denver Molly Brown along with Manuela Cardenas. She is a power threat on the field, handling, cutting. She does it all. So you have to imagine that Indy Red specifically had strategies to try to shut her down.
Without a doubt, and I think that definitely comes from their containing of the handles. And you know, whether Claire is upfield or downfield, if you can contain that disc, then you're definitely able to take some of the best players in the world out of play.
Mm-hmm. All right, Kate McInerney picked up the disc. She found Kristen Dudley downfield. Just out of reach. We've got 15 seconds left in the quarter.
For real this time.
For real this time. And just because the buzzer is about to go off doesn't mean the quarter is over. This is the last possession, so this is either going to end with a score for Revolution or a turnover. Whoops. We've got some quick handle movement.
We're seeing a zone right now from Indy Red. It is a 3-3-1, but it does sometimes play like a 3-2-1-1, depending on where that disc is on the field. So you'll be able to watch Red players transition.
All right, that was Montano with the disc, swinging it all the way to that far side, working it up. Hot potato passing right there for an eventual score. That was Manuela Cardenas with the assist to number 24, Maria Santos. Once they found that space on that open side, it was very easy to just quickly get a couple Revolution players in there, pass it back and forth until the eventual goal. And now we are at the end of the first quarter.
For real, for real. 12 minutes, we did it.
We did it.
And we got more than that 2-1. So maybe we're seeing Revolution kind of hit that stride. They definitely are, hitting each other, cueing each other better, downfield and amongst the handles. Once the handles really get going for Revolution, the cutters are able to kind of fit into that groove better. Definitely a lot of their core is around that fast handle movement.
Absolutely. So what do you think Indy Red needs to do for the rest of the game to challenge that?
Well, I think on this last point we saw, a 3-3-1, which was effective until Revolution was able to sort of use those handles and that far side cutter to swing the disc really far, close to the end zone. I think that zone was working very well when they had, over 50 yards to go. But once we got close, they didn't break out of the zone. And it is possible that some people were thinking that maybe they would be coming out of the zone on Indy. And it just seemed very stagnant there when it got very close. And we saw Jackie Lay doing her best to kind of run over to that sideline, but, those quick passes, once you get close to the end zone, you only have to score by like a centimeter. So. Yes. The PUL athletes are supported by Strive and Uplift, a strength and conditioning community that provides virtual programming and education to Ultimate players worldwide, in addition to on-site services in their Seattle and Boulder locations. Big shout out to Strive and Uplift.
I also want to take a moment, shout out Kelsey Gibney on Indy Red. She unfortunately tore her ACL on the opening pull of Indy Red's first game. And she is someone who has put in the commitment, put in the hours in the gym. It was heartbreaking to lose her from the Indy roster, but Strive and Uplift specifically created workouts for her so that she could still work her upper, her core, some of her hip muscles as well, while she has the torn ACL waiting for her surgery.
Yeah, if you're injured, you still need to be active.
Absolutely. All right, so Indy Red with the pull to start the second quarter. Revolution starting on offense. Mosquera in the middle of the field. More quick handle. That was just quick cutter movement right there.
Just quick. You could leave it at quick. Oh, Torres. A big look.
Oh. That was a fantastic D. Soto with the disc for Indy Red. Looking back. Hand block by Torres. Torres going to pick up the disc. Finds Ferrero upfield. Mosquera in the middle of the field. Oh, almost a turn there, but she was able to recover.
Great end zone defense we're seeing.
Yep. Cardenas looking for that inside break. Oh, Revolution is so good at threading that needle. That was Alejandra Torres to Uribe for the Revolution score.
Look at this jab step once we see Torres get this disc here. She cuts back, number 14. It was very good defense that we saw from our Indy Red player, but Charlotte Woolard. But she was trying to follow her to that high cone side, which would have been an excellent cut. Then we just saw Uribe take that step, and she was wide open, just jamming it right in. And that's a throw Torres could make in her sleep.
Oh, yes. And that was just fantastic communication from both of them. Torres with that pump fake, letting her know Woolard was all over Uribe. Uribe saw that signal, immediately came back.
Stopped on a dime.
Stopped on a dime. All right, we've got Cartagena with the disc right now. She's going to pull. Defense only has 70 seconds between each point to get set for the pull. Kate McInerney receiving to Nicole Quay, over to Jackie Lai.
Indy is moving upwind at this point.
Kate McInerney look. Oh! Observers calling it up. Great catch by Kristen Dudley. But a miscommunication on the dump. Claire Chastain picked it up. She's got Cartagena. Looking for Chastain going strike. Good coverage downfield by Kate McInerney. Manuela Cardenas with the disc. Revolution. Whoop. We've got a travel call. Oh, there's a great D by Kate McInerney. She knew exactly what Cardenas wanted to throw, got in that lane, got that D. Looking upfield to Kristen Dudley. Dudley looking for her reset. Ooh, nice snag from Nicole Quay. Nicole Quay not finding much downfield. Finds Kate McInerney. Just out of reach for number 10, Jen Golan. Revolution again working it through their handlers. Not taking many shots downfield. Oh, and as I said that, shot downfield to Claire Chastain. Claire Chastain puts it into space for number 20, Cartagena. That was Claire Chastain with the assist. Ina Cartagena for the score. And Revolution is now up 6-1 on Indy Red. That is 6 points in a row for Medellin Revolution.
That was an excellent downfield throw. Nice high release.
And you have to high release it right there with this wind. That wind is going to push everything down.
If you're Claire Chastain, I think you can do whatever you want.
That's very true. For those who aren't Claire Chastain, wondering about strategy, how to throw downwind, you want to make sure that that is
nice and high.
Nice and high, nice and floaty. Wind's going to push it down no matter what, so got to counteract that.
Absolutely. So right now, Indy is having a chance to go downwind. They have their O-line ready to rumble. I think we are seeing a combo line at this point. Definitely going to be looking to see Austin Prucha. She'll be the one with the hoodie on. You can easily spot her. She is a grinder downfield, so keep your eye open for her. But Indy Red needs to control this game for themselves, keep the pace nice and easy.
An unfortunate turn from Indy Red. We've got Torres going to pick up the disc. I feel like I've said that phrase about 800 times so far. Mosquera looking upfield. Oh, nice grab. That was a laser.
Looks like it knocked her backwards.
It definitely did. Torres successfully caught that in bounds. Looked upfield right away. She's got Mosquera back. Excellent grab from Mosquera. All the way over to Montaña. Montaña back to Mosquera. Montaña going strike. Oh! Austin Prucha almost had that D. Mosquera calling the timeout for Medellin Revolution.
You know, just when I said keep an eye out for Austin, we see that an incredibly athletic play, trying her best to get around her defender without fouling. Austin is a very physical player. It's always a pleasure to play against her. She typically plays for Heist. So this is quite a drive for her and just shows her dedication to this sport. She also has a bit of an injury going on right now. I believe that she hurt her quad.
Strained her quad.
Yeah, and here she is. Just proves a point to her athleticism.
Yep, she is putting everything on the field. You wouldn't even think that she had a strained quad from that play right there.
Absolutely not, but she would tell you that it wasn't enough.
Wasn't enough.
Looks like we're seeing Indy Red players stay on the field. Again, you can sub in the PUL during timeouts. There was a couple substitutions. Let me take that back.
All right. Disc is back in play. Got Montano with the disc right now. Reset back to Torres. Big look. Ooh.
There's Austin.
Yep. She may not have touched that disc, but she definitely got in the way
Absolutely.
and got that D for Indy Red.
You know, if she was 100%, she might have caught that disc and that disc.
Kavek with a huge look upfield. Out of reach. Going that way down the field, they have the wind with them, so often the throws are going to just sail a little bit out of reach.
You know, in my mind, a huck like that, you know, it's a good pull. It forces Revolution way back down by their own end zone. They have to work it all the way back up, upwind.
Absolutely. We've got Indy Red in a zone right now. Trying to contain it to that handled space.
I think it is person. It just has a lot of poach once a player gets close to the disc.
You are correct, yep. And it caused a turnover.
Awesome.
Nicole Quay with the disc to Austin Prucha for the score.
That's an awesome
There was a
connection.
call, looks like.
A pit call. Signals are up for a pit call.
Did the pick affect the scoring play is the real question right now. Got a discussion happening.
Many of the Colombian women speak very good English. So, you know, if there is a language barrier, I cannot imagine it can't be helped on field.
Right.
Just to make that clear, they're just all around awesome.
They are. It does look like we've got Torres translating for Mosquera and Oland and the Observer.
Got some friendship going on in the back of the stack.
Oh, yeah. All right, the pick was upheld. It's going back to Nicole Quay on the end zone line.
So it looks like Austin Prucha's defender got caught up on Torres. And then we had a peel-off defender that looked like Austin's defender. So,
Ooh,
boom.
excellent. Nicole still wanted Austin Prucha as her receiver. Prucha with the excellent towing of the line to make sure that Indy Red gets this score.
Oh, give it again. Yeah.
Towing that line. There are some helpful little cones in the end zone to help us distinguish what is in and out of bounds. So while Prucha's toes did drag across those lines on the football field, it was still in on the ultimate field.
Good call, Jerry. So right now we're going to see red going upwind again. I would bet that we're going to see a lot of, again, that poachiness, poach to tight on those handles. I would expect to see whoever is on the last cutter to be hanging deep. We know that Revolution wants to play the deep game. We haven't seen it yet. I'm sure they're itching to make it happen. So definitely look for that defense downfield. But I expect anyone who is within 20 yards of the disc on Revolution, Indy will have someone under, so preventing that in cut, forcing them to make a harder throw.
Revolution easily working it up about 15 yards. And just another miscommunication, turnover. All right, we've got Indy Red with the disc. Couldn't find that reset. Revolution gets it back. Claire Chastain to pick up. Over to Cartagena. Just threw it slightly behind her. Soto picking up the disc. Over to Nadler. Nadler to Ballard, I believe. Back to Soto with that snag. Soto looking upfield. Unfortunately in traffic. Santos came up with that D. There were some foot Ds right there. Was that Soto with the foot D? Nadler swinging over to Soto. Upfield.
Through contact.
No call on that play.
That was a great no call. But they were both in their physical hitter hand.
Yep. Chastain swinging back to Cardenas. Over to Cartagena. Cartagena upfield. Finds Cardenas. Swinging back over. Found Claire Chastain. Claire Chastain with that high release backhand for the score to number 24, Maria Santos.
52, Claire Chastain to number 24, Maria Santos to score for the Revolution.
Again, watch Claire Chastain get this disc. She sees a nice high release, puts it away and towards the back, away from her defender, where only Santos could get to it. At this point, we're seeing Revolution sort of rolling. They are making errors. They're making unforced errors. India is playing a solid defense. I do think that you can see the sort of fatigue perhaps creeping into Indy. They're starting their cuts late on offense. It's forcing stalls to get higher, and then we're getting those, what could be miscues, but truly I find them errors between the handles. And some of that comes from the timing downfield. We need those cuts to start before the disc is checked in, and we're seeing them a couple seconds after, and that really limits the handle's ability to make the most of a play.
All right, we've got about 4 minutes, 40 seconds left in the quarter, left in the half. Mosquera with the giant pull that just stays in the air. That's a fantastic pull. It allowed all of the Revolution defense to get to their position. Misconnect from McInerney to Quay. Once again, Torres picking up the disc. Swung it over to Mosquera. Working it in that handle space. Found the upfield. Over to Carvajal.
Indy was in a zone. They are now in person.
Oh. That was a tight throw. Successfully caught by Montaña. Oh. Great second effort. Indy Red with the disc. Swung. Tried to swing it to the middle. Cardenas with the disc. Swung it over to Uribe. I apologize, that was Rojas. Fantastic defense from Indy Red. A shot to the end zone, just out of reach.
Letting Revo get to those high stalls. That's what Indy talked about before the game. They did a really good job of containing. And there was a little bit of poach in the front of the stack from Red. And that helped, that stop turn that we've seen Revolution use several times. It wasn't as effective. It caused some cluster.
Dudley with the disc right now. Finding Golan upfield. Quick reset to McInerney up to Lai. McInerney found an open Quay.
Indy doing a great job of spreading the field at this point.
Oh. All right. Oh, that was unfortunate. Especially with the roll still going towards the end zone. There we go. Lai picking up the disc. With the around backhand. Ooh.
She wanted to make it interesting.
Definitely had to make it interesting. All right, that was Jackie Lai with the assist to Claire Schwaba for the score. Jackie Lai, beautiful around throw. Little bobble in the end zone, but she was able to secure it.
We just saw Revolution score almost that exact same spot. You know, it is away enough to keep away from your defenders, but it's not that front cone where there would be a lot of traffic or both players could run onto it. So anyone out there is looking to figure out how to score more goals or throw more goals, don't get caught.
Yep,
don't in the front of the end zone.
Don't jam it into that cone. Give your receiver a little bit more space. All right, Indy Red is going to be pulling upfield. Sydney Oland with the disc.
The wind has picked up even more now, and it is a direct upwind, downwind, but it is stronger at this point.
The crowd getting into the game
as best they can through the sprinkles in the wind.
Cardenas. Over to Cardenas, back to Cardenas.
Oh, broke it through that.
All the way over to Cartagena. Claire Chastain quickly finds Cardenas on the far side of the field. They're playing give and go.
Oh.
All the way over to Cartagena. And a wide open Revolution player in the end zone. That was... that was Cartagena with the assist.
Number 20, Cartagena for the assist to Santos for the score.
And that was number 24, Maria Paula Santos with the score.
You know, she had no one on her, and it's Red is playing a very interesting mix of doing this, what looks like a 3-3-1, that's quickly transitioning into just a person. That starts in the front, so you'll see this very droopy handler motion and handler defense, and then we'll see the backfield drop onto those cutters. That's something that they talked about before the game. It is especially challenging when an experienced team like Revolution is able to exploit when that change happens and send a few people deep. You can't keep track of them all. And on a day like this, you know, the voice doesn't carry as well. So being able to communicate where everyone is, that's definitely something that Red needs to get better at. You can't, every disc needs to be able to be contested.
Absolutely. Pull one out of bounds. Nicole Quay is going to center it. This handler line for Indy Red, they've actually got a lot of experience together. Oh, Nicole Quay trying to look downfield. Deed by Montaña. Torres with the disc in the backfield. Swung on over to Montaña. Back to Montaña. Found Cardenas upfield. Ooh, just behind her. Jackie Lai coming up with that D. Swung over to Kate McInerney. Upfield to Claire Schwaba. Over to Nicole Quay. She going to try that backhand huck again? Nope. Swung it to the middle. Dudley with the disc.
Just under a minute left in play.
Golan with the deep shot. Oh, unfortunately not able to toe that line. Disc sailed out. Claire Schwaba with the amazing effort to keep that disc in bounds. Unfortunately, it was too far gone. We have 26 seconds left in this quarter.
That was an awesome throw. I love that throw into space. Clearly a connection there.
Oh. There was a foul call.
Looks like it's uncontested.
Yep, coming back in, stall 0.
It's important to note here how Red really wants to keep Revolution on the sideline. They're wanting them to have to play their small game in a condensed space, not small game all over the field. Oh. And it's right here where the Revolution is doing an excellent job of busting through.
Yep. And the clock ran out, so this is going to be the last possession. Revolution's got a long way to go upfield, and it was a turnover.
Unless there needs to be time added, that should be the end.
Looks like time needs to be added. Jackie Lai with the disc. Looking upfield. Unfortunately, Harrison had come back up from that cut. And that is the end of the half. Medellin Revolution 8, Indy Red 3.
You know, we've seen both teams have the long, grindy points. A lot of unforced errors going on right now. It's going to be interesting to see how both teams come back from the half. And with that in mind, I mean, I'm sure that they are all aware that, you know, there have been drops, there have just been miscues, and I think both teams are kind of prohibiting their success in that way. We've seen Revolution be able to fight through that, and I think that has a lot to do with their chemistry, and also they have a small roster right now. These are girls that have been grinding together for the past 5 games they've been in, and, you know, the travel together, all of it. You know, some of the girls for Red, you know, had to just get in today. So, you know, it's a chemistry issue, but it's something that as professional ultimate players, we know that they are more than capable of, you know, pulling it together, making those short, easy passes. So it'll be interesting to see the changes that they make coming out of the half. At this point now, we're going to cut over to a clip from our sponsors. Welcome back, Ultimate fans. We are still at half right now. Between this game between Revolution and Indy Red. Jerry, tell me a little bit about the PUL.
So the PUL, this is their first year. There was a semi-professional ultimate teams last year, Indy Red being one of them, founded by Lauren Piontek and Jackie Lai. Lauren Piontek now playing for New York Gridlock, Jackie Lai, Indy Red, O-line handler. But really the Premier Ultimate League has just meant so much for women in Ultimate. It is a fantastic organization designed to celebrate women's Ultimate, but also designed to celebrate women in Ultimate. All of the women that you see on the field, all of the women through the country, they are people who are not only leaders on the field, people that are looked up to by pretty much everyone that's watching them. They're also giving back to their communities in the best way. We've got so many different coaches and leaders of communities captains of their club teams all throughout the Indy Red roster. Medellin Revolution, they also have an amazing program in Colombia. They have a junior women's team specifically designed to help develop their younger women.
Many of which are on the team right now. There is Santos, number 24. She typically comes from a mixed background, but she's 18 years old.
Wow. And the Cardenas twins, they are 19. They have a young roster.
Absolutely. Young but experienced, without a doubt.
Catherine Soto on Indy Red, she just finished her first year of college at Ball State University. 19 years old. Very similar to the Cardenas twins in their upbringing. They've had access to Ultimate from a young age, access to high-level Ultimate with the Premier Ultimate League, with the Revolution program.
On the flip side of that, though, we have a veteran like Torres, number 1. She has been kicking butt and taking names for a long time. I ran into her in the bathroom, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "You're a legend," and she just laughed. And she's been playing for 19 years.
Wow.
Amazing. And still just grinding and grinding. I hope after I play for 19 years that I can even...
Yeah, I'm hoping my body still works
Yeah,
after 19
absolutely.
years.
She actually played for Riot in 2009 and 2010. So she is definitely used to, traveling for Ultimate and making it a big part of her life. All right, Jerry, let's kick over and see a little bit of highlights from our first half.
Yes, please. All right, so on the screen right now, we're looking at Indy Red's first score. Dudley with the disc, swung over to Quay. Quay to that end zone line. I believe that's Schwaba. Schwaba to Bree Harrison. That started off the game, made it 1-0 Indy Red. And then after that, it was kind of Revolution's game. They scored 6 in a row after that.
In a row. Here we see the start of that taking off.
Nice open space for Valeria Cardenas to run onto. That was Revolution's first score of the quarter, of the game.
And it's good. All right, let's see if any other fans can match it. We have a success
right.
here. We have the first throw of 10 yards.
That was a short highlight, but you can see how quickly Revolution has been able to move the disc in order to advance up the field, score in the end zone.
Like that.
Like that, exactly. That was Ferrero to Chastain. Again, putting it out into that end zone space so that Chastain could run onto it.
After one of those quick jabs again, I think that is just the telltale when they get close like that. If the handles aren't going to be working it as we see right now, we're going to see a quick movement from our cutter chopping.
She didn't even have to put much effort into that throw right there for the score. She knew she had her receiver coming back around. Easy dishy pass. And that was a beautiful, beautiful communication from Revolution.
What was great there was also the hockey assist there, the
Yes.
throw before the throw. It was not only upfield, but it was centering, and she let her receiver come in further instead of throwing it straight upfield. So that communication there, that set up to score, that is something that, that some of the best teams will be able to utilize all the time.
Mm-hmm. And this is the deep shot to Claire Chastain. She's just going to float that up. Able to have Cartagena run onto it. And coming up, we've got Red's turn for a score. Nicole Quay with the disc. Yes, this was
That was
the
round
pick
one.
call. Yep. And here's that reset to Austin Prucha, who towed that sideline beautifully.
We actually got a note on Twitter from Jake. He wanted to let us know that Austin's last name is pronounced Pruka.
Pruka, okay.
So our bad, Austin.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jake. We should not be getting her name wrong. We're doing our best, but thank you so much for that tweet. Again, if you have a correction for us or a question you'd like to ask or anything like that, feel free to send Jerry and I a note on my Twitter handle, which is _Willingham.
All right, Jackie Lai with that disc. She kind of took a page out of Revolution's end zone play right there. Not trying to jam it into that front cone. She made sure to give space. I believe that was Schwaba with the score.
Yes.
A little bit of a bobble. And here's the final score of the half for Revolution.
To lots of space. You see the red players kind of laughing that off right there. It happens. It happens to the best of us. You lose track of somebody. You're doing your best to stay together as a zone. And, sometimes people will slip through the cracks. It definitely sucks that they're not able to have as much communication down the sidelines, given the weather of the day, given the size of rosters, given where the players are allowed to stand. There's a lot of factors going on. But definitely something that I expect them to be more cognizant of in this next half and in any other games that they're playing. That zone is being effective. It's just not once Revolution is able to kind of tap it through and then get the swing off to a cutter, it just shuts it down, and that transition isn't quite there yet. But again, working through 3 practices might not have all the kinks worked out.
We were talking to the coach of Medellin Revolution, Mauricio. He was saying that this weather is definitely very different than what the Revolution team is used to. What with the wind, the cold, the rain.
In Columbia, I will say they're used to the rain, which is starting to pick up right now. But the cold that comes with it might be something that's a little different for our Revolution friends. Indy they're used to the dreary.
Don't we know it?
It'll be interesting to see how both teams deal with that coming in. The disc is going to be slicker, and the wind is still just as hard as it was at the end of our first half. We're about to kick off our second. And it looks like we'll have Indy starting on offense.
Yep. Indy Red going upfield.
Upwind.
Upwind. Yes. Sorry, that is what I meant.
Upfield. Hopefully upfield. We hope they'll get upfield.
Yep. Don't go backfield.
Well, and the pull's up.
Pull is going to stay in. You would think they would want to swing it middle, but easy open look up the sideline. Over to Nicole Quay. Jackie Lai getting that reset. Over to Kate McInerney. Kristen Dudley upfield. Swung over to Quay.
We see Jackie Lai make that hard, sharp back cut again to get that swing. She has been a big part of Red's ability to move the disc across the field.
Absolutely. Oh, nice grab. Jen Golan puts it up. Ooh, Cartagena came down with that D. Over to Valeria Cardenas. To her sister Manuela Mosquero. Got someone streaking deep. Ooh. Santos looking for her reset. Finds Cardenas. Cartagena looking upfield. Finds Carvajal. They're working it upfield pretty easily. Indy Red may need to play a little tighter. Cardenas has the disc. Looking back for her reset. Finds Cartagena. Back to Cardenas. Ooh, inside look. Oh, again with the communication from Revolution. That nice big fake from Cardenas to Uribe for the score. Big pump fake for that inside look.
Cardenas to number 33, Valeria Cardenas for the score for the Revolution.
Revolution's doing a very good job of seeing when they are covered, cutting into that end zone, and either bailing out, coming back around for that inside look, really focusing in on their handler and what the handler wants from them.
You know, the cutters have to know that the handles are going to take over. That's clearly the Revolution set. But if the cutters tried to get more involved, it would totally blow what Revolution tries to do. The cutters are disciplined. They stay back. They wait for their moment, and they shriek pretty much straight to the sideline and then back to the corner. That's where we're seeing a lot of those away cuts come from, a lot of those away goals. And when I say away, I mean away from that front line, where the cut comes forward towards the front and then drifts back. It really does look like at this point that Red is not as low on their marks. They're not as taking that first step. Those first few steps are where this Revolution team is gaining all of their handle movement from. And, you know, Indy did a great job at first kind of keeping up with it, and right now it's fallen a little behind.
That's Kavek with the disc. Tries to go over the top of her mark. Great D by Forero. Started to go deep. Realized there was traffic in that lane. Cardenas with the disc. Ooh, nice run through D. She's still going. Ashley Farnkopf. Oh. She came back in because that disc's trajectory was coming in a little bit, but the wind helped carry it back deeper.
You know, when somebody gets a great D like that and they are going deep and the defenders had to peel off on them, they are so tempting to hit. But, you know, Red needs to have the discipline to be like, wait a minute, you know, she did something awesome. She's opening up a lot of space right now. Let's use that space instead of forcing it. There is a cluster going on the field.
Yeah. There's that pick call.
That was a pick.
Players coming back to positions.
Friendship. High fives.
All right. They're working it up that far side. Chastain looking to continue up that far side. There we go. Now they're moving it back to the middle. Chastain with the disc. Over to Cardenas. Swung over to Forero. There was a pick on the play.
Something I think is really interesting right now, you know, I know that Revolution is going upwind, but there are a lot of very shallow players. And you would think that they would be clogging a lot of space, but the way that Revolution plays is they don't really need a ton of space because they use a lot of those small throws. That, however, was a over-the-top OI flick. Came in. Looks like there was a call by Claire Chastain.
Yeah, definitely some contact. Uncontested. Chastain's going to keep the disc. Kavek with the quick mark on her. Oop. Got another pick call. Sometimes that happens when your handlers are moving so quickly.
it can also be kind of frustrating, getting that pick call over and over. So it'll be interesting to see how all the players in the field deal with that.
Mhm.
It happens. It does.
Disc goes back to Chastain. Another pick call.
At this point, the players need to figure out a way to set up so that there's not a pick, both offense and defense.
Yep, there we go. Can't go backwards because you're causing that pick, but it was Chastain to number 96 Ferrero for the Revolution score.
Again, that juke, small ball. It's also, you got to notice that people did not take up that space. They knew that she was going to go behind, or she was going to go for it, and they left that space be. That it is hard to be that disciplined, and it just shows, small rosters can know each other very quickly and know what each other wants to do. It also shows the strength and the grit of this Colombian program.
Would you say it's more beneficial to have a smaller roster to get that chemistry, or would you say definitely need legs in order to make it through?
I think that in games like these, it's beneficial to have a smaller roster where you can build the chemistry, like what you're saying. When it comes to longer tournament play, you can play really well, but at some point, whoever you are, even if you are incredibly in shape, there will be fresh legs, and that can be really, really challenging. So I think right now for Revolution, their low numbers it's not a problem. It is something that is allowing them to work this disc really well. But in a more of a USA Ultimate setting, perhaps I think that low numbers could end up yielding a bit of a problem.
Absolutely. Indy Red working it up the field, popped up by the wind. Oh, looks like 3 different Revolution players got a hand on that. Revolution quickly working it towards their end zone. They also have the wind at their backs. Rojas over to Cartagena to the end zone. Oh, still out of bounds. Little too low to make that grab. Indy Red gets another chance to go upwind. That's Kate McInerney bringing it up. Excellent break around to Bree Harrison. Ooh. Nice poach D right there from number 13, Ana Maria Rojas. Valeria Cardenas picking up the disc. Upfield to Cartagena. Oh, I love when Valeria breaks her mark. You never know it's coming.
But you do. Oh my.
Oh, that was almost a Callahan on the goal line. Revolution.
Very quick turnover. For those unsure, a Callahan is when you catch a throw from the opposing team in the end zone you're hoping to score in, and it would stand as a goal.
Nicole Quay with the disc. Looking upfield. That may have been a bailout. High stall count. Revolution working it quickly. Cartagena with the disc. Overthrew Cardenas.
Right now, Indy Red is doing an excellent job on the handle defense of forcing, trying to stay on the inside lane. And the inside lane is between the disc and the player trying to get the disc. And they're causing them to have to work a lot harder. So, big props to Indy. On their
Overthrew
defense.
McInerney right there. Mosquera with the D. Found Uribe back. Cardenas with the disc up to Mosquera. Oof. A little bit of a disconnect right there.
I don't even know if I'd call it a disconnect. It was just poor execution, At a lot of times Revolution is able to, as you've been saying, thread that needle, and they are more than capable of making that throw. It just feels very rushed and very forced. They need to take that breath. An excellent catch. Wow.
Harrison had great positioning. Found Kristen Dudley. Upfield back to Bree Harrison. Nicole Quay coming back for the disc. Great snag by Dudley. Up to Harrison. Indy Red working it upwind. Playing within themselves, not trying to take too risky throws. Jen Golan with the disc.
My.
Mosquera with the monster mark right there. Playing very tight.
Yeah, Indy just released that disc a little bit with the nose down. That allowed the wind to just kind of push it over.
Valeria Cardenas looks to go deep, but that is D'd by Jen Golan on Indy Red. Nicole Quay looking upfield. Trying to throw upwind. Sank a little short. She intended that for Bree Harrison.
If you're new to the game, upwind, when you're throwing, and you're in this case to the left up the field, it forces the disc up. So if anyone is unsure what we mean by upwind, it makes the disc kind of pop up.
Revolution. Good find in the end zone. That was Manuela Cardenas to Alejandra Uribe for the score.
Number 8, Manuela Cardenas. Number 24, Maria Santos for the score.
This was amazing movement by Uribe. Oh, that may have been Santos.
Both are pretty and great.
They are fantastic cutters. Yes, that was Maria Santos with the score. She knew exactly where her defense wanted to take away space. And now we're going to hear a word from our sponsor.
The Discraft Ultrastar is the official disc of the Premier Ultimate League. Discraft, the world leader in disc sports. We can see our Revolution girls out there moving those feet, trying to stay a little warm. It is soaked. You can't really tell. You can see the wind on the jerseys just a little bit, but it is soaked out there, my friends.
When we pan back to the stands, you can see how many umbrellas are being used.
Looks like that pole slipped a little bit. Combination of wet and wind can be a hazardous condition to pull.
Indy Red with fantastic field positioning. Little poach D from Revolution right there, able to find Jamie Smets in the middle, back to Sydney Oland with the around break. Just sailed out of bounds.
That swing is like what Indy needs. That was an excellent idea. She should do that 10 out of 10 times, maybe putting a little bit more OI on it so that disc comes back in, or taking that extra second. But absolutely, do it again every time.
Every time. Claire Chastain. Ooh, that disc is so slippery. That is
I wouldn't be surprised if we see, people starting to wipe this disc off. Woo!
Indy Red with the score. That was number 23, Nicole Quay to Austin Pruka.
So quick. Picks it up, knows exactly what she's doing. Ha!
Nice high release. Again, the wind is going to want to push that disc down, so you need to high release it. Give your receiver an opportunity to run onto it, jump up and snag it. In this case, Pruka just had to catch it pretty easily.
that shouldn't be overlooked. And in this condition, it's wet, it's rainy, it's easy to slip. Pruka could have just, let her momentum carry her and try to catch that with one hand. She faced up to that disc, used two hands. It sounds so simple, but it is something that is such a difference maker when it's wet outside.
Gotta secure that disc. All right, Indy Red's defensive line is coming out. We've got Emily Nadler with the pull. Makes it past half field. Cardenas with the deep shot. Oh! Oh! That was almost D'd by Indy Red. Revolution came down with the score. That was Cartagena. That perfectly read that deflection. Cardenas with the deep shot. That was Lauren Boyle that almost got that D, but Cartagena was able to read the deflection, score in the end zone. That was a great put from Cardenas as well. Cardenas.
To make that way easier, it would have been nice to see a little bit more float, a little more touch, maybe a little more OI on that disc. Indy Red, I don't know if that just hit her fingertips or what, but whenever you can, you have got to catch those Ds, and it's so easy to be like, go up, and you just kind of hit it, and not sure what quite happened there. I'm sure she's kicking herself about it, but
yep.
Catch your Ds.
Gotta catch them.
And then if you don't, move on. Next point. Here we go.
All right, Revolution pulling into the wind. That one is going to land inbounds. Kate McInerney going to pick up the disc. Great movement from Indy Red. Oh, just out of reach for Jamie Smets to be able to make a play on it. There was a call. Looks like a foul call.
On the disc?
On that throw. Big fan of the whiff diff hand signals. Makes it much easier for us up here to know what's going on.
Yes, please.
All right, Nicole Quay gets the disc back. Finds Jamie Smets. Over to Dudley.
Great holster.
Absolutely. They can't be taking too many risky shots right now. Red looking to put it in the end zone. Golan finds Jackie Lai on the reset. Over to Nicole Quay. High release. Oh, just outside the end zone.
Keep working.
Back to Kate McInerney. Looking for a receiver in the end zone. Break around.
Oh my God! Oh, that was a try for a greatest. Anyone's unsure, you can jump from inbounds, catch a disc, and try to throw it back inbounds, and that would count. Wow, that was awesome.
Dudley trying her hardest.
Dirty.
Oh. Chastain with the disc. Found Cardenas in the middle. Torres has the disc now.
We have a streaker deep.
And the clock has expired for this third quarter. This is going to be the last possession, and it looks like Indy Red got the D, and that will end the quarter.
Revolution is 12, Indy Red 4.
We're going to take a quick break to hear from our sponsors.
Another shout out to Health Zone Chiropractic. Health Zone Chiropractic is a premier family wellness center providing quality care from all members of your family. Visit us online at healthzonechiro.net. That's healthzone, CHIRO.net.
We're not sure if you can hear this song in the background.
It's Soulja Boy. We're dancing.
This is a really fun atmosphere, even with the rain, even with the wind.
Well, it might help that we are inside. Big shout out to the high school letting us use their Taj Mahal of press boxes. Coming into this last quarter, this last 12-minute period, there's a little bit of a difference when it comes to the times. In the final quarter, in the last 2 minutes, the clock will stop with every stoppage of play and whenever the disc goes out of bounds. So there is a lot of time conservation in those last 2 minutes.
Yep, and the game ends at the buzzer.
Yes.
When the clock expires. There is no last possession.
It's huck or die.
You can actually see the wind rippling through their jerseys. That's how strong it's become over the course of the game. Revolution O-line holding hands, signifying how strong of a team they are, how strong of a unit.
I would hold their hands.
I would also hold their hands.
We're going to hold hands.
Yes.
More small ball from Revolution. Indy is in a zone right now. Looks like we're doing a 3-2-2. That's transferring to a 3-3-1, depending on where the players are.
Yep. And Revolution looks like they're trying to have 4 players behind that front wall. Deep shot going up.
Ooh.
Cartagena unable to hold on to it.
Excellent throw.
Excellent throw.
10 out of 10.
That's Lauren Boyle with the disc looking for her reset. Finds Sydney Oland. Peruka upfield. Great spirit.
Caught that, but then just got caught on her leg. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard, no round mark. Forced flick. Still able to break.
Helps when your receiver for that break is Chastain. Great extension to try to grab that. Just out of reach. Indy with another opportunity upfield. Ooh.
This gets floaty. D by Cardenas.
Oh, that wind has picked up. It's affecting not only the longer throws, but also these shorter throws as well.
And the water.
That's unfortunate from Kavek.
Oh, wait, we really need to see these players, take a second, make those easy, smart throws, or just dish it.
Revolution taking advantage. That was Chastain with the assist.
16 to number 96, Maria Ferrero. For the
And Maria Ferrero, number 96 on Revolution with the score.
This is Claire Chastain's 4th assist. Most of them, at least 3, have been a high release backhand to that left side of the end zone on the downwind side.
All right. Revolution defensive line coming out.
We have the O-line out there for Indy Red, the starting O-line. Keep an eye on Jackie Lay this time for Jackie Lai this time for number 16. I'm sorry, Jackie, I love you. She is doing a really good job of facilitating that disc and making the swings happen. She's cutting upfield and then back on a dime, back towards her handles. So keep an eye on that if you're trying to figure out the best way to create movement for your team. Something is happening.
It may have been offsides on the pole. Not quite sure. Observers going over to each other to talk about it.
The sign for pick went up,
Okay.
but I don't know. Yeah.
And it was offsides if they want it, but since it landed midfield, they don't want it.
Gotcha. All right. So, looks like it was an offsides on the pole.
Oh. Offsides on the pole. Indy chose to decline, which is they have that right. That would limit a re-pull. They liked where the pole landed, so they are happy to stay where they are.
Not a lot of room for Revolution to work right now. There we go. They're creating space for each other.
We're often seeing a cutter come in very close to the handles and then go out through traffic, and that makes a lot of space for a handle to cut in from the backfield, and that's how they're getting this give and go movement. Then that cutter that had cut through that space is open very wide, and after the handles kick it around a second, that's the cutter that is able to get this huge swing.
Nicole Quay looking.
A beauty.
She found Liz Gates. Liz Gates on the end zone line. Oh! Nicole Quay bidding for that disc. Got the score from Liz Gates after the hockey assist from Nicole Quay.
Here
Oh,
she comes.
There she goes.
Ooh, that's awesome. She got her whole forearm under that disc and then rolled with it. There was no doubt it was up. Her whole arm was between the disc and the ground. And that catch is harder to make than you think. She put 2 hands on it. Again, she could have tried to reach down with one and kind of swipe it, but, getting a little wet, getting on the ground, totally worth it.
Absolutely. Indy D line, defensive line coming out. That was Liz Gates with the assist. Alright, when pulling upwind into the wind, it's very difficult to get it far.
We're seeing about all these discs at just under half field.
Mm-hmm. Revolution working the disc quickly. Cartagena upfield to Montagna. Back to Cartagena. Through the hands of Chastain. The disc is very wet. You see Emily Nadler try to shake off some water.
Shake it off. Shout out to T-Swift.
Oh. Overthrew Catherine Soto. Revolution trying to get a quick score here. Ooh.
Jerry, was that a high release backhand to the mid left side of the downwind goal?
I think we've seen that before. What do you think?
Let's see it again.
All right. That was Cartagena to Calise Cardenas for the score.
If you're interested in getting to know more about tonight's teams, you can check out the Revolution at revolutionultimate.com, as well as Indy Red at IndyRed.org.
Revolution playing with the disc. And now we have another word from our sponsor.
The PUL athletes are supported by Strive and Uplift, a strength and conditioning community that provides virtual programming and education to Ultimate players worldwide, in addition to on-site services in their Seattle and Boulder locations. Learn more at www.striveanduplift.com.
One of the best parts about Strive and Uplift is that it is for Ultimate athletes. Oftentimes, the programs, the strengthening and conditioning programs that Ultimate athletes put themselves through are designed for other sports that use different muscle groups. So we're not actually getting everything that we need.
Approach.
Exactly. Strive and Uplift is tailored for Ultimate players.
Indy Red was hoping that that disc would uplift a little bit, stay high, drop down early because of that wind. Ooh, and Revolution with a turn, a drop.
Jackie Lai going above. Almost received in the end zone.
Jackie saw that streaking Indy player. She was there. She was yelling. It was just by the time that Jackie was able to see that player, the Revolution players had seen it as well.
Torres trying to move Indy Red back. She had Mosquera going deep.
An excellent target.
Very excellent target.
She has a background in track, actually.
Oh.
No one's surprised.
No one. Kate McInerney looking for Nicole Quay. Over to Jamie Smets. Almost a D there from Revolution. Mosquera was able to jump up, knock that out of the air. It's up.
Jerry helping out everybody, getting that up call going. We
Yes.
did just learn about catching D's, and we didn't yell loud enough.
Apparently. Torres looking upfield. Oh!
That was a volleyball tip.
Yep. Jen Golan came down with that D. Almost recovered by Mosquera. Now we've got Jamie Smets looking upfield. Just
I'm not sure that disc ever came in from its
Yeah.
point of throw. They don't seem to mind. Oh, they do mind.
So since the disc never came back inbounds from the throw, the player now gets to bring it up to where the throw went out of bounds.
When you're working upwind, every yard matters. They should absolutely be taking it there. Oh my!
Was that a foot block?
By number 17.
Kristen Dudley. That was a foot block. Nicole Quay.
An excellent huck fake.
Kate McInerney. Again, two-handed catches. Oof. Jen Golan unable to get that out of the air. She's got the hard matchup of Mosquera. Oop. Kate McInerney coming down with that D, preventing Mosquera from making that play. Kristen Dudley with the disc. Kristen Dudley with the shot. Jamie Smets in the end zone.
Wow.
Oh,
no.
That disc is so slippery. That was an amazing run by Jamie Smets to the end zone. Kristen Dudley with the dime of a throw. Unfortunately, the weather conditions are making it very difficult to hang on to that disc.
Number 14 on Revolution, Uribe, had already given up on that disc. She was like, oh my, just like we all were. Definitely a bummer. Hope she's able to move on from that. and let it go. It's the most important thing you can do right now.
We've got just about 4.5 minutes left of the game. All right. Revolution working it in. Oop. That disc popped up a little. We've talked a lot about when you're throwing with the wind behind you, you have to release a little bit higher because the wind is trying to push it down. Revolution's working upwind right now. They actually have to throw a little lower in order to make sure that the disc doesn't just pop up into the air.
They're doing a great job of it. On bending those knees, it's willing to stay low even at the end of a game, end of a tournament, however you want to call it. Oh my.
Oh, what a grab. That looks like Montagna that grabbed that from behind her. Mosquera, over to the middle.
It was Londono.
Londoño?
That one.
Okay. Ooh. Revolution making some big swings. Mosquera looking deep. Observer called it down, but also
I don't think she quite had it. It was an excellent bid, though. You know, when you work it up as much as Revolution has, you know, you want that huck that seems like a great idea, but you've already worked so hard, you know, and I would continue playing that small game.
Ooh. Little floaty. Oh. Yeah.
Almost a Callahan again for Revolution.
That was Ana Rojas. And Ana Rojas with the score as well. Torres with the assist. Ana Rojas could have come down with that disc for a Callahan.
Oh, that would have been so cool.
That would have counted as the D, the assist, the score, all in one play.
This quick tap in, juke.
That around break.
Yep.
Revolution is just so quick with everything they do. They're quick with their cuts, with their throws, but especially with juking the mark.
Absolutely. They do not wait to put that disc in play. There's no loitering. There's no, you know, talking to your mark, being like, are you ready? They put that disc in.
Still trying to keep warm. We've got 2 minutes, 20 seconds left in the quarter. Once we get under that 2-minute mark, the clock is going to stop for every out of bounds, for every call on the field, and the game will end at the buzzer. That was a fantastic pull from Cartagena. Got Kavek with the disc, working it up. To Pruka. Pruka looking for her reset. Finds Kavek. They're trying to stay warm with their hoodies. Got Lauren Boyle with the disc. We are now under 2 minutes. Oh, that just popped out of the hands. Revolution puts it deep. Oh, Cartagena tries to position herself to make a play on that disc. Indy Red has another chance to work it back upfield.
Didn't appear to have a mark.
Kavek looking. Ooh, just out of the reach of the Revolution defense.
Oh my, what
Lauren
a throw.
Boyle putting it up.
Taking her time with it.
Lauren Boyle looking for the end zone. Kelly Kirker
Wow.
with the score. That is an upwind point for Indy Red.
That was excellently played. That backhand up from the far side. Able to come down with the disc. It's hard when a disc is floating like that to get it just right. This wind is making the disc bobble in the air. She came down with that disc so well, took her time with it, and Red was able to do a nice bending backhand.
Kelly Kirker was all over wherever that disc was going to go. You see her small acceleration to try to catch up with it, make sure that it's staying in front of her, make sure that it's easily caught by her. Fantastic read by Kelly Kirker. Fantastic put. Indy Red gets to pull the disc with the wind behind them. Got Emily Nadler with the disc.
Red's going to want to get down there as fast as possible, prevent the disc from moving upfield before they get there.
Yep, there are only 54 seconds left in the game. We've got Chastain working it through Torres and Cardenas. Really quick movement from Revolution. Got 30 seconds left in this game. Swung it over to Torres. Chastain with the disc. They are really working on eating that clock. Oh, and then right on the goal line, Torres looking for the end zone. And she finds her cutter with only 4 seconds left of the game.
I believe that was Gabriela Jimenez. Look how Jimenez gets open. She's in the back corner right now. She takes it back, steps in, and is able to get right in front of her defender, who's still turning those hips.
Alejandra Torres to number 31, Gabriela Jimenez with the score for the Revolution.
All right, we've got 4 seconds left in this game. Reminder that the clock does not start until an Indy Red player touches the disc. Do we think they're going to immediately shoot for the end zone?
I would bet that they're going to put it up and just send everybody that direction. I really don't. No team has been able to huck it into that end zone from way downwind. So I think to prevent injury, they might not put up a hospital pass for nothing. But
this was actually a shorter pull from Revolution. Clock has started. Center to Jackie Lai. Jackie Lai going deep. Defended by Cardenas.
Disc was up.
Oh, ho, ho. I'm not sure that play would have counted. All right, our final score of this Premier Ultimate League game, Medellin Revolution 16, Indy Red 6.
Hard-fought game all around. There were some very fast points. There were some grinder points. As the weather picked up, as the game went on, I do feel that the points got shorter in a way. The disc was really forced to stay down by our downwind end zone on the right, and teams tried to grind. There was just a lot of room for error, both with wind, rain, and chemistry, and we saw a lot of quick turns and a lot of quick capitalizations. So as the game went on, it almost felt faster.
Felt like they came into their own team's games a little bit later in the game than I'm sure both teams wanted.
Well, I think Revolution, they want to be in their game from the first point, and Red scored that first point, but they took the next 6. I think they settled in very well. They dealt with this change of weather for them very well. Indy Red kept fighting, though. It's very easy to get down on yourself, down on each other. I think that shows the depth and strength of their program. This was their second game.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting to see where Red is at once they're 5 games in.
Absolutely.
Let's take a look at the Spin Ultimate play of the game. There was a lot of grindy points, a lot of touch and go. We'll see this big huck go off to the Cardenas. This huge layout. Oh my gosh. Absolutely beautiful. That was the Spin Ultimate play of the game. Spin Ultimate, providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com. In games like this, it's a lot of small ball. It's a lot of touchy throws, and those aren't always highlights. But a downwind throw to Manuela Cardenas is never a bad idea. That athleticism she showed there, I just had to highlight it one more time. All right, Jerry, it's time to name the Discraft player of the game. We're sort of teetering on a few people here. Names that have come up several times for us. We have on Revolution, Torres was a constant force. She was touching that disc. She really distributed play very, very well for Revolution. Ina Paula Cartagena, she had 3 assists and 2 blocks. She was churning through again. She ended up with a lot of touches, coming back handling, then ending up downfield. We have Santos. She had 4 goals, and I felt like every play that she could have been near, she was in. She was involved in it. She was working hard the entire time, and it just felt like she was working smarter, not harder, but still just an absolute power for Revolution. She was creating space for them. And when you're working in a small area because of weather, that creation of space can be really hard to do and also really hard to notice. So big shout out to her. Claire Chastain, hard to avoid naming her. She has 4 assists and 1 goal. A lot of those high release backhands. Once, we didn't hear from her in the first 3-4 points of the game, and then we started hearing her name a lot more come up, and that's when things, that 6 in a row really took off. Jimena Montaña, she had a crazy D. So big shout out to her. On the Indy Red side, Nicole Quay, she was all over the disc.
Absolutely.
For Indy. She was picking it up. She was doing faking all of that. Jackie Lai, might not have seemed like the biggest impact player, but she created a lot of space, allowed a lot of swings. You can really tell that she looks to be sort of the root of this team. Not looking for big flashy, but definitely facilitating the disc and allowing others to shine. But as far... Oh my gosh, and Kristen Dudley, number 17, that huge foot block. Sent that disc 10 feet in the air. It was awesome. But... the Discraft player of the game for us, Jerry, what do you think?
I'm going to have to give it to Revolution Maria Santos.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I just felt like every second it was just Santos was there. We talked about it, but that creation of space in a game like this, it can't go overlooked. And she's absolutely the Discraft player of the game. Discraft, the world leader in disc sports.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to this live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League. We had Indianapolis Red versus Medellin Revolution. Final score, Revolution 16, Indy Red 6. Thank you again to everyone who came out to the game, everyone who's listening from wherever in the world you might be. I want to give a special thank you to my co-commentator, Willie, over here. Thank you so much. This was such a fun broadcast.
It was awesome. Man, Jerry and I had just met, and it's been we've been having a great time up here. But again, if you are interested in seeing more women's ultimate, check out the next PUL games coming up at the PUL Ultimate Online. That'll be it from us. Signing off.
Signing off. Thank you.
Tschüss.